All right. You know what time it is. You see the trio. That only means one thing. It's time for another panel. You know, we got the extra distinguished group. I'm Arthur Moats, who happens to be cool because I get to stream with a doctor. And that's the one and only Dr. TaNeisha, aka Miss PhD. Shout out to Dr. T at Really Flaw YouTube channel as well. And of course, you see the trophy is shining. It's nice and gold and polished over there. I'm talking about the Emmy Award winner. Yeah, the Emmy Award winner producer from the WRAL Channel 5 in Raleigh, North Carolina. That's the one and only Mark Bergin, ladies and gents. So yes, shout out to the distinguished panel. Like I said, I'm cool just because of the extension that I have of being able to talk to them every week. So shout out to y'all, man.
As we're being talked around and trying to be buttered up, I just want to introduce our leader, our passionate, strong, positive leader, the Arthur Moats experience team captain, all of those things, 9-year NFL vet, Arthur Moats. And I will say this week, I have been turning my fear into focus. So that is very important. So I need to speak about that today because I have turned some fear into focus this week. So shout out to you, Steelers legend. That is the one and only Arthur Moats, everybody. Mark, I'll let you take it from here.
He is also the 2009 Buck Buchanan Award winner given to the top defensive player in FCS level. He's the one and only Arthur Moats. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the panel tonight.
Y'all are funny.
Welcome everybody in.
Y'all are funny, man. We bring out the Buck Buchanan Award. This is nuts, man. She turned fear into focus. Shout out to the turning fear into focus too, man. That was actually was an important chapter. All right,
I needed it.
But salute to both of y'all over here. All right, no matter how much y'all try to push that ball back over here, like I said, man, I'm just a guy that is cool because I get to kick it with y'all. All right, and shout out, man, because it's been some action happening around the NFL. I was actually looking forward to talking with y'all. I was upset we had to wait this long. Because we done had a big time trade within the division where we seen some first round picks getting divvied out, but we got us another pass rusher coming into the squadron. But then we also seen, a receiver that we might have could have used that I'm sure Mark is going to be able to give us some details, some nuance on as well, man, being that's from his old stomping grounds of Chicago. And we got NFL free agency about to officially begin in a couple of days, man. So I figured, man, we'll jump right into the division impact, right? We had Maxx Crosby, Mad Max, get traded from the Vegas Raiders to the Baltimore Ratbirds, first round pick in 2026 and first round pick in 2027 is what the Baltimore Ravens gave up to acquire him. How we feeling about that?
I was excited that they lost their draft picks for that, honestly. I was really excited. I was like, okay, cool. I love that. You know what? This is not a knock on Maxx Crosby at all. My issue though, or I feel like the Ravens issue hasn't been their defense really. So for me, it was kind of like, all right, cool. Like whatever, like where are Lamar's weapons? What is that offensive line going to look like? Like, cool. But I think they just have bigger issues. I mean, great move, obviously, but like, okay, cool. You gave up 2 firsts for that. That's 2 firsts that now you don't have. So I love that but it's Maxx Crosby, but I just think they have bigger issues. So for me, I was just kind of like, okay, that makes sense. We move on.
Talk to me, Mark. How'd you feel, man, when you got the breaking news? Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Chasing good money with bad or bad money with good, I always get that analogy goofed up. But 2 first-round picks, like we live in a world where Maxx Crosby, who I'm very happy for, like he's been through how many different regimes with the Raiders, dating back to his very first season in the league. They were still in Vegas or still in Oakland before moving to Vegas. So I'm happy for him. But to me, the Ravens are saying it's Super Bowl or bust. But wasn't Super Bowl or bust last year? And if that were the case, Harbaugh would still be employed. So I don't see it. I really don't. Again, we can power rank the edge rushers in the division. Myles Garrett's at the top. For me, 2A, 2B, Crosby, and Watt. Watt's a little bit older. Watt's making a little bit more money. But if Crosby gets 2, doesn't then Watt get 2 after coming off the punctured lung and everything as well? I understand Brian Burns fetched a similar price when he was with the Panthers a few years back. The Panthers hung on to him too long, and it diminished his value in subsequent seasons. Maybe that's where we're at with TJ Watt at this point, considering he's a little bit older than Crosby. But I just don't really understand it. 2 first-round picks. I get that Baltimore figures, hey, we're going to be picking later on in the first round and have a back-end draft pick rather than a front-end draft pick. But to me, it's Super Bowl or bust with a move like this, considering 2 first-round draft picks for a really talented player. But to say Maxx Crosby is going to be the one that takes Baltimore over the top, that I don't buy.
Yeah, man. I like when we all agree because, yeah, I do agree as well. I thought it was one of those cool offseason trades, right? A lot of flash. I mean, you talk about the name popping up. I was mid-workout, Mark. You know, us guys, we got to make sure we're working out to stay in shape, right? So I'm mid-workout and I get I'm like, oh, it's Maxx Crosby. Like, I even caught it for a second. Then I got to thinking about it a little bit longer. And I'm just like, they won't really hurt there, were they? I mean, we can go back over the past couple of years, right? Kyle Van Noy is giving you double-digit sacks in their scheme before. We saw them get rid of Owe Adafe at one point as well because they felt like, hey, man, we are still generating pressure via blitz. We've seen Jadeveon Clowney come through that system, right? So we would all agree it wasn't a lot of that necessarily made us feel that that's what they were lacking. Heck, if anything, I would look at their secondary and say, man, if we were trying to add pieces, maybe that's where I would have went. But Maxx Crosby is a big name. Maxx Crosby is a fun name. But at the same time, I mean, Mark, you said it, and I was over here just kind of like, if Maxx Crosby is too, like, under what metric? Because for this to have been the season where he garners 2 first-round draft picks, a lot of us within Steelers Nation will look at TJ Watt and say, man, you're old. You were bad. This was a weak season, $40 million. We should get rid of you. And that was still better than Maxx Crosby right now. So I'm just over here kind of like, yeah, I guess it's a cool name. He plays really hard. You know, I love the tattoos. Like, you know me, I'm a tattoo guy, but is he better than TJ Watt with the puncture lung right now? No. I don't know, because statistically, I don't feel like that was the case. We know when we start talking wins and losses, and that's one of those stats that gets weird, but we do it with TJ, right? Because we've seen the number. When TJ is in the lineup, they've won X amount of games. When TJ is out the lineup, they've lost X amount of games. Maxx Crosby in that lineup a lot out there in Vegas and in Oakland with various quarterbacks as well. So I just look at it like, it's a fun, it's exciting. Like, it got me up, but yeah, I'm still liking my TJ Watt over that right now. Just apples to apples. Like I said, one cost $40 million, but not the 2 first-round draft picks. Now, with that, though, how do we feel compensation-wise, though, right? Because TJ's getting 40. We know Myles Garrett's getting 40. And like I said, this costs 2 first-round draft picks. Is that, I mean, shoot, even Danielle Hunter down in Houston with the Texans signs a 1-year extension worth $40 million as well, guaranteed. Yeah. Is this what the new going rate is for pass rushers?
Clearly. And let me just make the case for why Baltimore makes this move. So over the past 5 seasons, the Ravens have blown an NFL worst 16 leads in the final 5 minutes of games. That is 5 more than any other team during the same time span. So again, last 5 years, Ravens have blown an NFL worst 16 leads in the final 5 minutes of games. That's why you go get a Maxx Crosby. The logic is he's the type of player who could put games away when you need a pass rush and teams are trying to move the ball down the field through the air late in a game when they're trailing. That's the logic there. I just think 2 first-round picks for him was just too rich of a price. I get that he's younger than TJ Watt, so I understand not wanting to pay for past performance, and he's just a shade underneath what Watt and Garrett are making. And Hunter, I suppose. But that $40 million mark is what it is, and it's what it is relative to the production you saw from Myles Garrett. And we mentioned this as well, and I do think this is worth bringing up, and I'll pass this to TaNeisha in just a second. But Crosby's production and Garrett's production, you have to take into effect their teams for this reason. If they're playing for teams that aren't very good, they're going to be facing deficits more often than they have leads. So that's important because your sack production is not going to be nearly as high. Like, the question I have is, so Myles Garrett just broke the sack record this past year, right? what would his numbers be on a team where other teams have to throw the ball more frequently than they do against the Cleveland Browns because the Cleveland Browns are getting blown out by whoever their opponent is because the Browns aren't very good. The same thing could be said about the Raiders, who have the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, and Pete Carroll just lost his job. So the stats, they're not really apples to apples comparisons because of that. And then the same thing could be said about TJ Watt because
I was literally over here thinking that. But hold on, even sticking with the offense's perspective that you've been giving us now, what was the offense for the Steelers this year? I'm just because I know how many times we came up here and we had these conversations about our offense. TaNeisha, you led the charge with that. So I'm hearing this Maxx Crosby, I'm hearing this Myles Garrett, but does TJ Watt had a high-powered offense? Were we top 5, top 10 offense? Maybe I missed it.
Pittsburgh, I think, Arthur, tends to muck it up a little bit more to keep it within closer deficits. Like, say what you want about the Steelers. Say what you want about the Steelers. Say what you want about the Steelers. But over the last 5 years, would you rather have the Steelers track record, Cleveland, or Vegas? Like, let's be real here. So I hear what you're saying, Arthur, but Pittsburgh at least tends to keep it closer than those other teams.
Now, that's a Tomlin thing. We don't even get to count that anymore. Stop that. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't understand it. I just don't, like, I can't understand why that move was the move for 2 first-round draft picks. Like, if you would have said they did that for maybe a first-round draft pick and maybe a third or something, I feel like it was a rich trade. Like, I feel like they overdid that, and in that now I'm like, are y'all trying to make a statement with this move? Because I don't even feel like a statement was made. I'm just kind of looking sideways, like, what? Okay, help me to understand this now. Maybe in 3 days or something, like there's some other things they're working on. It just hasn't been announced yet or something. And then it's going to all make sense. But I just feel like the Ravens issues, there was bigger ones. And then to give up 2 firsts with this, I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't know. And then, people are like, oh, well, now they have a defensive minded coach and this makes sense. And now they're going to move forward with the defense. And I'm like, okay, well, who's going to protect their quarterback? Who is their quarterback going to throw the ball to? And what is their secondary going to do? I don't know. I just don't get it. I think it was a very rich trade. That's why I like it. I like it for the Ravens as a Steelers fan.
It's funny we're saying that now in terms of giving up the first round picks, but I will be honest. When I first heard the news, I'm like, dang, that's kind of brutal for Pittsburgh because you make a division opponent in the immediacy a better team. Like, there's no doubt about that in terms of what Crosby brings to Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
Did they give up too much? That is what we're arguing, I think.
I guess my question to both of you guys would be this, though. I'm looking at Trey Hendrickson hitting the market. Could you have not went and signed Trey Hendrickson and still kept your first-round draft picks? Oh, and production-wise, we're not about to act like Trey isn't more productive than Maxx Crosby has been since even in New Orleans, he was giving you high double-digit sacks, right? The production was there. So I just look at that also as just like, hey, man, if you still wanted to get this productive all-war guy that can close out games, that we are saying that Maxx Crosby is, he is for sure in that fashion. I mean,
hey,
like you said,
Trey Hendrickson, I know you're listening right now. Arthur wants a small cut of the 10% raise he just got you.
Just saying. If I'm looking at both of these guys, it's like, I get it. Maxx is a more flashy name. Maxx, to me, is more of a household name than Trey Hendrickson. But when I look at Trey, you look at the production and you look at the schemes and the style of offense that he's also had to endure. It's like, man, that production still shows. Shoot. It's been times where we've benefited from him not being out there, right? We're like, hey, man, no trade, man. It makes our life a lot easier. So I just look at that as, man, that could have also been an avenue that I probably would have linked into a little bit more so than the 2 first rounders, because, yes, Maxx for 1 first rounder and whatever other draft pick, I'm with you 100%, man. Maxx is a dog. Maxx is going to produce, and his effort is never in question, right?
Right.
But it's when you throw that 2nd first round draft pick that now we're literally having conversations like, which position do any of us feel is worth 2 first round draft picks outside of a quarterback? Is there any other where we truly feel like, man, this wide receiver would give up 2 first round picks for? Is it a running back? Like
left
anybody,
tackle,
right?
Arthur, left tackle,
okay.
and I look at because I don't think anyone who's worth starting, like anyone who's a starter as an offensive lineman, doesn't typically hit the market. And I go back to what the Titans paid Dan Moore Jr. And Dan Moore Jr., to his credit, was able to stay healthy.
4-year starter, yeah.
But was he top half of the league, bottom half of the league?
He wasn't Trent Williams, not even close. Yeah.
No. And he got what the salary he got from Tennessee is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
I don't fault Dan Moore Jr. doing it all and leaving and going to get his bag, going to get his money. That is not my point. My point is that is such a premium left tackle where,
yes.
And I don't think like that's something you absolutely have to build through the draft. And that's what the Steelers are trying to do with with Broderick Jones, Troy Fautanu, Frazier.
Even Dan Moore, that's
Yeah.
essentially what they did do, even with him, even
Yes,
Chuks Okorafor, right? When we start going back even to the history of it, it's like, you're absolutely right. And that is part of why we typically the positions that never hit the market, quarterback, left tackle, pass rusher, wide receiver. It's like, yo, you got to go trade for those guys. You have to go and do something above and beyond because they are so valuable. Yeah, man. 2 first rounders for Crosby, Lord.
I think I would give up 2 first rounds for something, for a pass rusher, if my team, that was it. Like, it was like, we got everything, right? We have people still that are under contract. Like, we have every single thing. We have our offensive line. We have our receiver. We just cannot generate a pass rush, i.e., the Chicago Bears. I think if they would have given up 2 first for Maxx Crosby, I would have said, you know what? That actually makes sense to me. You got everything, it looks like. Now, obviously, there's some things that you can tweak, but you can get those pieces. They're needing a pass rusher really bad. I don't understand the move for the Ravens. Maybe another team, I would say, okay, because that's like their piece. But for the Ravens, I'm like, all right, so offensive line, receivers, like what are we doing next? Like, because there's so much. But that's how I feel about it.
I can't wait for the pressure that this is going to put on a first-time head coach in Jesse Minter the moment Baltimore struggles in the 2026 season.
On defense.
Like,
especially, I don't
because
get
like you said, it's the second one. If it was just the 1 first rounder and anything else, you're okay with it. That second one, the results, they have to be immediate and consistent and throughout the whole season. You can't get hurt, right? Because we're going to look at that, and it's not just the compensation from a salary cap standpoint anymore. It's literally, man, we have 2 potential whatever. Because think about how we look at first round draft picks, right? The guy that we're going to draft in this upcoming first round draft, we're expecting to not just be a starter. We're expecting him to be a 5-year guy. We're expecting him to be a force multiplier, right? We look and we say bare minimum what Derek Harmon did this year. That's bare minimum for a first round draft pick. And we say we go do that for 2 of it's like, man. But is Max capable of having that type of impact? I think if we're looking at this in 3 years and we're gauging if this was a successful trade or a not successful trade, are we literally putting the line at you got to get to that Super Bowl? Is that how we're gauging this from our perspective? Okay.
Well, for 2 first, I mean,
Not just that, TaNeisha, but Lamar Jackson's not getting any younger, so it's now, never, or when, and it's also because of he is a running quarterback. Or it was last year injuries, or was it what's to come of he's starting to slow down of the dynamic 2-time MVP playmaker that he's been, to make a move like this and to truly go all in. Like, this was the facade last year you heard with the Steelers. Oh, the Steelers are all in. The Steelers are all in. They didn't give up the draft capital to say at any point of any of the moves that they made that they were all in. They didn't mortgage the future to say that they were going all in. It wasn't the same as the Rams had done a few years ago when it was all popular of, oh, F them draft picks and we're going to go get every single star player that we need to go all in. If you're giving up 2 first-round picks, you're all in if you're Baltimore.
No. I like it then. Yeah. I like it. And look, like you said, TaNeisha, I'm happy for Baltimore. I love it for Baltimore. Oh, I love it.
Me too. I hope they have the best time.
Throw a party, man. Throw a big party, man. Y'all earned this one, all right? For sure. Yep. I can dig that, though. Well, before we finish up with this AFC North topic part of it. Did want to just simply ask you guys though, now that we have had this trade, right? This is a big move. How do we stack up in the division right now? We know as the season has ended and as we are rolling through all season, technically, we still got this heavy crown on our head that says, AFC North champs. So I just wanted to hear from you guys how y'all feel, the Maxx Crosby joining the AFC North. Does that change the hierarchy right now?
I don't think it changes anything. And I think that's my thing. I mean, it makes them better. I'm not saying it doesn't make them better. They didn't suck though. So what are we talking about here? They were literally a missed field goal away from going to the playoffs. They didn't suck. So I don't know if I don't think it changed much of anything. I mean, I think at the onset, because this just started, it was a big move. It's a lot of flash and it looks good and it feels good. And then there's going to be a moment where you're going to go, all right, so what if we keep going 3 and out and Lamar can't throw the ball and that defense has to run out there all the time over and over and over and over? What does this move mean? Nothing. So that's why it's kind of like, I don't think, for me, it doesn't mean anything. It just is what it is. They still have a new coach. They still have to figure it out. And elephant in the room, they still have to sign Lamar Jackson. And there's stuff coming out that they don't, that they're having issues with figuring out an offer for him. So that's why I'm just like, I don't know what the Ravens are doing, but shout out to them. I love this for them.
What about you, Mark? How you feel about it, man? How does the division stack up right now into your eyes?
I can't wait to clip this social media clip and then free agency happens and it's just chaos and anything I say just becomes obsolete. So that's how I feel about it, Arthur, of like,
don't you love it?
Well, here's where I'm at. And maybe this gets into the DJ Moore trade or to Buffalo. Maybe this gets into the impending free agency. Something I've been thinking about. We all know the Steelers need a receiver too. And I know Aaron Rodgers last season was quoted as saying, well, I'm not taking anyone hostage. If you're a receiver, and even if the Steelers are offering you a fair salary, what does that then do to your worth for subsequent contracts in the NFL if you don't know who the quarterback is going to be for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 2026 season? So, like, in terms of Crosby right now, it makes Baltimore better. Baltimore is probably the odds-on favorite to win the division in 2026. But, like,
but wait,
what I want to know is what
that move, though.
Say that again,
TaNeisha. They were the favorite before that move. It was almost,
you know what,
you know what, how I'm going to answer this, and I can't believe I'm saying this because there's been past seasons where I've said that the AFC North division is the best in football. The AFC North was more like the NFC South in 2025. Mm-hmm. Someone had to win it. It just so happened to be the Steelers.
So, but my point is like, but would you, at the end of the year before this move, would you have said, if I'm ranking the division, would you have the Ravens at the top of the division? I mean, I would, because they have a quarterback.
Probably. Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying, so like,
probably.
So now they're
that's crazy.
Number one in the division plus a star.
That's crazy, TaNeisha.
Don't you start with
the disrespect.
Don't you even start
that
with
is
this quarterback conversation.
The disrespect is wild right now. Like, we don't got quarterbacks here in Pittsburgh. Wow, play.
Can we go to my point, though, of what does that do for the Steelers? We know they need a receiver to complement DK, point blank. I don't know how the heck you approach free agency and look a free agent in the eye and say, hey, wink, wink, Rodgers is coming back. And we all know that, but it's not official yet. Of how is a free agent supposed to trust Pittsburgh if we don't know that Rodgers is under contract for 2026? If you're a receiver in the NFL, why would you want to come here if you're essentially just rolling the dice of who the heck Pittsburgh's quarterback's going to be in 2026? Like, that's kind of crazy to me. It is.
Yeah.
No, well, so to a degree, so I was going to say, to a degree, yes, everything you're saying is spot on. The good thing is this: at the NFL, we got the great equalizer, baby. It's the almighty dollar. Now, the problem is this. It works both ways. When you have the assets, right? The draw, the Aaron Rodgers, the Mike Tomlin, the Lamar Jackson, you don't got to pay full price. You don't got to pay over. In fact, you get deals, right? We talk about, man, how did that player sign here for less than market value? That's that, right? Now we're going to look and we'll be like, what? Why did this big name player go sign with this dumpster of a fire organization? Oh, because they paid him $80 million. They paid him $60 million. That's how it works. So yes, in a perfect world, we want to get all the leverage. We want to win every single deal. But the way free agency works, when you don't have clear direction, when you don't have that draw, you have to spend more. And that's the part where I'm going to look at Omar, and that's how we'll judge him. It's like, man, until we know the direction at quarterback, you're going to have to overpay in certain places to get quality talent to decide to come here because of everything you just said, Mark. But that still is an excuse. It's still, you cut that check. You make sure that you're paying for the right person if you're going to overpay. Very similar to what you see in NIL in college right now. Man, them dudes do what? Man, if I can only pay for this, make sure I get the right one. If I miss on it, dang, I'm screwed. But if I hit it, man, I got what I'm looking for that season until I get more clarity. Because I don't think we're going to have the 3-4 year, like, clear answer at quarterback right now, at least by free agency. That's what, 3 days from now? We're not about to have that. So any receiver that's coming over here is going to have major question mark. Heck, even if we're signing Kyler Murray, Geno Smith, right? Any of these quarterbacks right now, there's still going to be legitimate questions. Is he going to be on the roster a year from now, 2 years from now? So I think that dollar is going to be the great equalizer for us.
What I have a question for you, Arthur, was like, okay, the quarterback, when I'm talking about quarterback to receiver, is there a defensive equivalent of what we're talking about? And like my guess would be defensive tackle, because if you aren't stout A gap, B gap, everything else around it falls apart. But like from a defensive standpoint, would you approach this the same way in terms of the importance of putting at the quarterback position?
So think of it like this, man. Every player is an independent contractor. So a defensive guy signing with Patrick Graham to come to the Steelers. What do you know of Patrick Graham? What has Patrick Graham done to give you so much confidence that the scheme, he's going to put you in the right position, everything's going to work out to perfection? Nothing. Literally nothing. So as a player, what you're looking at is, man, okay, what do I initially think of this team when I say their name? Then from there, man, who are some pieces that they already have on that defense? And then the most important thing is, man, what's the dollar they're going to pay me? Okay. If they're going to pay me a nice amount to make me put up with some of the growing pains or some of the stuff that I'm not willing to tolerate, man, that's the price for, the cost of doing business. If you're not willing to meet that deal, that number, then no, I'm going to go over here, or I'll even take less to go over here where it's more stability, where it looks like it makes more sense. So that's kind of how I look at it, man. But the equivalent defensively is definitely inside linebacker, because if those D linemen aren't good, how we talk about Patrick Queen at times, right? It's not a Patrick Queen issue all the way, but when you don't have consistency up front, yeah, that's going to reflect on you. And if you're not the style of linebacker that can overcome certain things, then yeah, that's how you'll feel that, right? Another thing could be said for the safeties, man. If your corners are a little iffy, or vice versa, if your safety ain't the best, and you playing, how we do a lot of that cover too, where you supposed to have that safety hope over top, but that safety ain't never there on top. He kind of late. You like, bro, you making me look real bad right now, baby. So there are certain parts with that, but as a whole, if the money is right, dudes are going. At this level, a guy's going to go. And in worst case, man, I'm going to hardball my way out of this in 2 years and get traded somewhere else.
It's interesting too, because there's some options, the difference between free agency and still trading for somebody. And it's almost like, I think in some situations for the Steelers to trade and get somebody, because let's be honest, the receivers, I don't think a lot of receivers have the no trade clause in their contract. So I don't want to say they're hostages, but in a lot of ways, it's like you've been traded, you're going, as opposed to trying to sell people to come here. But I'll be honest, I want the Steelers to go all in on free agency. Like, go talk to some quarterbacks. Maybe. Like, my thing is, because it's a business and they probably won't, and we'll probably never hear about it. But at the same time, it's like, there's this weird dance that we're having to do where it's like, we're waiting for Rodgers, who I think we all can say he's probably our best option. But then it leaves us in this weird position, because now, do we sell him to people? Do we, like, it's weird. We're in this weird position. Now, the other part of this is, it's just weird. It's just a weird position to be in, where it's like you're waiting around for a guy to make a decision. But like right now, we need a decision, but they don't care. I don't know. It's just weird. That's why I'm just like, I'm just going to act like we have a quarterback and whatever.
TaNeisha, who do you want us to talk to?
I don't
Which
know.
court-
I'm just saying. Like, I
Mark,
want
here
us.
you go.
I want us to take a part in free agency. Like, if there's a better option, like let's just say, I'll throw this out there. Let's say they like Kyler Murray. They like what Kyler Murray brings to the table. They think he can really, work with our offense. He's going to be great for the AFC North. Or let's say they want to give Malik Willis a shot because they think he can grow.
Mm-hmm.
Reach out. That's all I'm saying. I'm not
Sure.
saying just because you reach out doesn't mean you have to make a deal. But I also don't think not reaching out, like, I just feel like we're in this weird spot. And in order to just make sure that we're staying involved, it's like, do something. Don't just sit back and be like, oh, well, we're waiting for Rodgers. So
She hit it with the John Q. Do something.
yeah, like,
great movie.
like,
Great movie.
yeah,
Denzel.
it's like I just don't want
man.
us to be sitting here being like, oh, well, we're just waiting for Rodgers. It's like, well, if you think Kyler Murray has it, right, or if you think, now if you don't
let's talk
think,
that
they
though
don't.
real quick. Can we talk that though?
Mark said
See,
no.
Mark said he didn't want to talk Kyler Murray. It'd be like that sometimes, man. Mark, I ain't talking
like,
that Kyler Murray with
Kyler
y'all boys,
Murray.
man. And look, there you go.
I'm going John Q here.
That's basically how I feel. Like, I'm just tired
There we
of
go.
like, yeah,
Sorry about that.
At some point, it's like, this is business. Like, business isn't supposed to wait on anybody. You're supposed to continue to try to do what's best for your business. I mean, obviously, we're not going to add another bathroom, so why not like start talking?
Well, look, let's talk this real quick though, because I love the fact that John Q is officially with us now. Shout out to John Q with the Emmy Award in the background. But of these quarterback options, right? We know Aaron Rodgers, right? We've talked about him, and up until this weekend, he was the most clear-cut option, right? But since then, we know that Kyler Murray has been released, and because of him being released, he's going to get $36.8 million regardless, right? So the same way we were able to sign Russell Wilson for one of those extremely low vet men deals, you essentially could do the exact same thing with Kyler Murray. So now the conversation is, what does Kyler Murray do to you for 1.5, maybe not even $2 million compared to when we're talking about Aaron Rodgers? Geno Smith, right? We said Geno last year got $40 million fully guaranteed, right? Now, it wasn't the best, 19 touchdowns, 17 picks. But we're now saying that, hey, as a release dude, coming off the year that you had, yeah, we could pay you literally what we would like to. And that could be crumbs if it was, right? So now when we're having this conversation that includes Aaron Rodgers, is no longer Rodgers versus Will Howard or Mason Rudolph or these draft picks, because those are the only ones that we clearly knew. Now we actually have tangible options. So how do we actually feel about Aaron Rodgers versus these other options that we know today are available right now? And with Maxx Crosby coming into the division as well, another pass rusher.
To quote the great John Q, when you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. And this is where, if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, if you're going to hold Aaron Rodgers' feet to the fire, hold his feet to the fire and abide by the deadline that you gave him.
John Q ain't play. John Q did not play. Remember that now.
It's as simple as that, and it's how you have to operate. And I want Rodgers back, but it's like, dude, if you want to be back, what's the rationale? Because it impacts Pittsburgh's ability to go out and get other free agents if he's on the roster and if he's not. You say, well, we need that further down the line because of his lifestyle, of where he's at and things going on off the field that we're not privy to. How is that fair to everyone else in the organization? So,
Mark and TaNeisha, who gives you a better chance, or what would you feel better about? Just, as we see here today, waiting, and you still continue with the unknown of if Rodgers decides he wants to play, right? If he decides he would like to come back to Pittsburgh, or being able to kind of move forward with the offseason and say, hey, man, we're going to get Kyler for crumbs. And now we have at least a draw to now when we're recruiting and we're talking to different people, we have a central point that we're saying is not a, hey, it's more than likely that this guy's going to be here, but there's still a legitimate chance that he might, kick it on us. You know what I mean? He can hit it and we would have to live with that. But there is this chance. Do we feel like Aaron Rodgers at this stage, his play is that much better than Kyler Murray?
Give me Kyler for crumbs.
See, that's how I feel about Malik because
Emmy?
the unknown. I'm there with Malik because it's unknown. See, the issue I have with Kyler, when he got cut, the very first thing that came to my mind, I'm closing my eyes and I'm like, what am I thinking of Kyler Murray? And it's like, freak talent, baseball player, can run around, doesn't stay healthy. And then the very first thing I thought of was video games and Call of Duty. And that's your quarterback? That's your face of the franchise? That's your CEO? Nah, it's like, I'm out. I don't care what money it is, because when I close my eyes, that is the very first thing I thought of. Whether that's fair or not, the truth and the fact of the matter is if he were that good, he'd still be in Arizona. And the fact that they effectively benched him last year for Jacoby Brissett, what are we talking about? For crumbs? Yeah, and then we kick that can down the road of, look, I want the Steelers to find their quarterback of the future. Bringing Rodgers won't necessarily solve that, but I just don't see how it's any different. That's where I'm at with it.
But you said Malik Willis is who you read this?
Because
now,
it's unknown.
I do feel like Malik Willis is going to garner a lot more money in free agency just because of, like we talked about, the contract situation. So I do actually think that makes the argument a little bit different, because if Malik was getting $20 million this year from a team, and we're looking at Kyler Murray getting $1.5 to $1.7 million, no, I gotta disagree with you on that one, because I personally feel like Kyler has.
Arthur, you're ruthless in your negotiations in TaNeisha. If it's less than $2 million for Kyler, like, I do understand. Say what you want about Pittsburgh.
What's the incentive for Kyler to take more? What's the incentive for Kyler to take more is what I'm saying. If he's getting his 36.8, however we slice it, right?
But Rodgers, they did this with Wilson and Fields the year before that, where it's like you're getting them when their value is at the lowest. I do think that there's something to that, but I'm like, if we're trying to win a Super Bowl and I close my eyes and the quarterback and the guy who used to be the number one pick, we're talking about video games with him? What are we talking about?
Okay, so what all did you hear about Sam Darnold and his, what did he go to, 5 teams? In his 4 teams.
Yeah.
He was awful. He was terrible. He held onto the ball too long.
Ghosts.
He couldn't read defenses. He was seeing ghosts. He said he was seeing ghosts.
He had mono.
He had so many things. He was on 5 different teams before he found his spot. I think Kyler Murray is what? First round draft pick. What is he, 29? I don't even think he's
had, 30. And he's giving you a 3,900, a 3,700, a 3,800 passing season as well.
Every year. He's had how many new coaches? How many years? How many he's had? How many new coaches? How many new OCs?
It's 28, but he'll be 29 in the season. Yep.
Yeah.
And the one thing he is able to do is get the hell out of the way.
Yeah.
That's very important. And I just think, 1.5. Now, if you say to me, do you want Kyler Murray at, what is he, 34.6 or 36.4? No, I don't want him with that. But if you're telling me that I get him and I get to see what he can potentially be, and let's be honest here, a lot of people in Steelers Nation are all high on Will Howard. Well, if you bring in Kyler Murray, that still leaves you the Will Howard option.
For when he gets hurt, or what are we talking about here, TaNeisha?
No, for competition.
There's no money invested in Kyler where you can have a legitimate open competition.
Yeah, for competition.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
And and so my point is like, if you're still needing a stopgap, do you want your stopgap? I don't. Where in the hell did I just get that word from? But if you're needing a stopgap, do I want it to be Kyler Murray or Aaron Rodgers? I don't know where that word comes from.
Another follow up I'd have is this though, and I know how we've talked about kind of the game and reputation, and yes, Kyler for sure has the immaturity reputation. He had the game and reputation and things like that. But the one thing that I will say is this. He is one of 5 quarterbacks to have 20,000 passing. Another, was it 3 to 4,000 rushing, all within his first 7 years. And that joins a Lamar Jackson, a Josh Allen, a Cam Newton, right? We talk about a very small list of dudes that with the arm, production through the roof, also with the legs, production through the roof. Malik hasn't given me anything close to, as I look at these quarterbacks coming out in this class right now, do I think any of them in their first 7 years are going to give me 20K passing, 3K rushing? No.
Mm-mm.
When I look at Aaron Rodgers, it's Arizona, like, man, what do I think Aaron Rodgers is going to give me next year? Like,
Arizona is not a great organization either, but I look at 3 of the last 4 years. He hasn't, one of those seasons he's played in all 17 games. So health, I think, is a real concern.
It was 2024. And in 2024, he gave you 3,800 passing, 21 touchdowns, 11 picks. And then what did he give you rushing wise? Rushing wise, he gave you another. Let me pull him up. Let me find him. Let me find his on the ground work. Like, shout out to all the, there we go. 572 on the ground. So
give me all that. And he played for the Cardinals. Like, we're not talking about like a great organization.
I'm with you there.
Who's even their coach at this point?
TaNeisha, the question I have for you is, are you actually serious about this, Kyler, for breadcrumbs, or are you that to use that as leverage to get Rodgers to come to the table?
No, I'm serious. If we
that's
can
good
get
for
him,
leverage. That's good for leverage. So you're a good business negotiator.
If he wants to come here and I reach out to his team or whatever, and we're in talks and I'm going through with the talks, because my thing, business doesn't stop for anybody. Anybody. It doesn't stop if you get sick, if you get cold, if the weather changes, if you lose internet, nobody cares. It's business. And my thing is, you can't tell me you're an organization that wants to win, that wants to get back to the Super Bowl, that wants to get back to the promised land, that wants to do this, that wants to compete. Then go compete. Competing means you're always competing. That doesn't mean that's just how I feel about it, because like, go make the move. And if Kyler comes, then Aaron Rodgers, listen, you were our first option. Everybody knew that. We said it repeatedly, verbally. We can't pacify you. This isn't elementary. Everyone doesn't get participation trophies. Like, that's not real. Like, real life is, you had your moment. You had 3 months. You didn't commit. Kyler Murray was interested, willing, and he's coming to the table, and we're signing him. Like, what do you do?
And I guess I look at it like this to kind of piggyback on it, man. It's just, with what we saw from Rodgers last year, do we feel like it was that much better than any other option to where we are willing to say, nah, we're good with it? Me personally, I don't feel like that. But how did y'all feel? Mark, TaNeisha, do y'all feel like what we saw from Rodgers last year is worth actually waiting?
No, I don't.
No, no, because if you come away empty-handed, and even if you wait to say, well, the odds of having him back are 90%. Let's talk that hypothetical. That 10% chance that you walk away with nothing, and you're left with Mason Rudolph and Will Howard as your quarterback, good luck in 2026.
That's tough. That's very tough. And just from a negotiation standpoint,
that's where I'm at.
Mark, negotiation wise also, since I like how we could talk this here business stuff. Do you feel like Rodgers is going to sign for a number that would be less than what we would be able to sign Kyler Murray for also?
I think both of you are really, I think there's going to be more suitors for Kyler than you think.
No, it is. No, we're not saying that it's not. But what we're specifically talking about is because of the release and the guaranteed money. Him taking a $30 million deal.
I see.
It's the offset. So that's why it's like, man, for him, that's the whole incentive. Man, I can go to a new team and my old team has to foot the bill. So now I'm not killing my new team, because if I come to the Steelers and I take $15 million, that's $15 million that they are not spending on a receiver, a running back, a D lineman, whatever. If I come here and I only take 1.5 and the Arizona Cardinals are on the rest of the hook for that, Arizona is screwed. New team, you still got the 30 plus to go do what you need to do. So that's what I'm speaking to. And that's what the whole Kyler Murray situation is. Very similar to the Russell Wilson situation when Denver released him. They're essentially paying him 36.8 to not be their quarterback. And we're saying, hey, if you think that you're going to find another quarterback that is worth 36.8 and whatever you're going to pay them, and he's going to be that much better than Kyler Murray, I'll take that bet. Give me Kyler. I'll take Kyler for 1.5. That's why I keep saying the 1.5. It's not that I don't think other teams are going to want him. It's just, what's the incentive to take more if you're Kyler Murray? Take the least amount that you're going to take from your new team and get loaded up with whatever you need to get. And now we can do business. Now we got a chance to run at this thing. And that's why, to me, Kyler Murray is a lot more exciting, a lot more enticing this time than, 2 months ago. 2 weeks ago.
And I think that's why Minnesota is a pretty heavy favorite, because they're probably figuring 2 years ago they were right on the cusp with Darnold. You get Jefferson and Addison, 2 really good targets in Minnesota. Get that defense rolling again, and then we know what Flores can do, the DC over there. So it's like
Flores, who's the head man over there? The head man is the quarterback whisperer, right? We've seen how his scheme, his offensive prowess has been able to have quarterbacks come and have success. I think that also is the concern if you're Kyler Murray. It's like, man, yeah, Pittsburgh might be interested. Some of these other places might be interesting, but I've seen Minnesota. I've seen Sam Darnold. I've seen a Daniel Jones. I've seen a Kirk Cousins go up there and have success
Yeah, I was gonna say.
with Kevin O'Connell. Like,
Here are the favorites. It's Minnesota's the heavy favorite, then the Jets. Yikes. I mean, the
Jets is worse than the Cardinals. Why would you want to do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Jets are the Cardinals.
Seriously, man. Yeah. Like nobody wants you want to do that,
Falcons
bro.
probably don't want to abandon ship quite yet with Penix. Dolphins, you're still competing with Tua. And then the Colts, depending on when Indiana Jones comes back into the fold from his injury. So, like,
And that was an
if we're-
Achilles, right?
Yeah.
but if
We're
we're
off,
being
they
real,
don't believe in us because of Aaron Rodgers. They think that that's a foregone conclusion, which I understand. But if there's not some foregone conclusion, or if we just want to actually consider other options,
Yep. I'm reaching out to Kyler Murray's team right now, and
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, I know what's out there, but let's have a conversation.
of
This
all
is
the
what we're
teams you
thinking.
named, Mark, outside of Minnesota, who are we legitimately saying this is a better situation for you, Kyler? Coaching wise, organization wise, team wise.
And
None
just
of them are
fresh
outside of
start-wise.
Minnesota.
Yeah. And I think too, for me, I don't believe one player should ever have this much hold over what an entire organization is supposed to do when this is a competition. We're not building cell phones. Like we're talking about like competition. We got to compete. We have to compete. Competing doesn't just happen on Sundays or whenever your game is. This competition happens now. Like this is game time. Like get ready.
look,
no sleep.
I'll get you on that.
Hang on.
I'm
We're not
definitely with you
building
on it,
cell
but-
phones. Let's print the T-shirts now. TaNeisha, I love it. We're not
see it?
building cell phones.
I like it. And look,
Amazing. Amazing.
I'm with you. I would say 98% of the time, man, you are absolutely right. There are that little 2% though. I'm like, yeah, there are certain ones like, yeah, when that guy, Patrick Mahomes. Yes,
Yeah,
dude.
but if Aaron Rodgers, let me rephrase this. If Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers
Rodgers
was
a couple
30,
years ago,
Yeah, if Aaron Rodgers
going-
was 30.
Exactly. Yes.
We're waiting for him all
Yes.
offseason. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. Aaron Rodgers at 42, I think 43 when the season
Yeah.
starts. I'm sorry, bro. Like,
Very true.
no.
I'm with you, but the silver lining of it is this. It's going to be June. We're going to be sick of baseball. I know that we have the World Cup this summer, but we're going to need programming. Don't you remember ESPN back in the day when
Don't you
is
do
Brett
this.
Favre
Don't
coming
you do
around
this.
or not?
Oh, my
and they
God.
had have the live chopper on ESPN Sports Center following Brett Favre's every single move. We get to do the same thing with Aaron Rodgers to help build programming in the doldrums of the summer.
How did we
can't
get
wait.
into this?
I
How did
cannot
we,
If
wait.
the Steelers
how did we
do
sign
that,
up for this?
yeah, if the Steelers do that, like I will think less of them as an organization, honestly. Because like what are we doing?
It was the best TV though. It was
Like
so
just
good.
don't lie to me then. Don't tell me you're ready to compete and be competitive.
Where did that-
Competition starts as soon as free agency starts.
Where did that come from? Like I had seen some of those reports. Do we know where that originated from? And I've seen it
What's up?
What?
of the Steelers saying we're not going to wait for Rodgers well into the summer and to say June or July.
I
Where
saw
did we see
that briefly. I saw it, I want to say from Omar, but other than that, it was like a little small blip. Everything outside of that was we're waiting. He said with the first month, we're gonna give him a month. That's what I saw.
Yeah, they
So,
said they gave him a timetable.
Yeah.
They gave him a
right.
timetable.
They said this would be different than last year. And we were
Correct,
all like,
'cause they
well,
gave him
we'll
a
see if he's
timetable.
going to, and we said, we'll see if Rodgers abides by said timetable, right? We
Correct.
kind of laughed about it, like, does he know he got that timetable? So,
What my
I just think
nervousness
it's
is
very
this. I want to
tough,
go on the
man.
record. I want to go on the record saying
Yeah.
this. If we get to Wednesday, which is the official start of free agency, what they can start agreeing to the terms tomorrow on Monday by the time
I
people
was
are
about to say,
listening
Mark,
to
We're
if,
this.
we
already
wait,
agreeing,
if it's
Mark.
Wednesday, Mark, we're too late.
But what I'm
Alright.
saying
Yeah.
is this, and I'm not talking about Rodgers specifically, but when the dust settles with free agency and Pittsburgh walks away with nothing in terms of the receiver position, with one of those 12 picks that you have come April, please, 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 let's have a receiver on this roster who was not
Yes.
on the team last year, whether it's a rookie, free agent, or both. And honestly, I would like to have multiple as well. But when the dust clears after what's going to be a chaotic week, a big week, if Pittsburgh walks away with nothing at receiver, that's when I'm going to say, signal the warning of what's a
Yes.
5-alarm fire. And I'm actually
Yes.
being dead serious about that.
No, trust
If
me.
we
I'm
walk
with
away
you.
from free agency with nothing, everybody better be sounding the alarm.
Nah. But check it out though. We ain't got to worry about that, all right? Because we've already seen where, especially the wide receiver market, teams are already getting the ball rolling. All right, Mark, we got DJ Moore. DJ Moore got shipped out of there, right? He got moved for a 2026 second round pick. Excuse me, it was the Bears DJ Moore in 5th round pick for the Bills 2026 second round pick.
Yep.
I mean, shoot. I love it and I hate it at the same time. You feel me? I love this move and I hate this move at the same time, ladies and gents. All right, I'm so torn by this move. Oh my God, it just hurts my heart. Hurts my heart, man. Talk to me, Mark. How'd you feel about this move though, man? Because I'm just torn. Oh my God, I love this and I just hate this. Oh, it just hurts me. Oh, and I love it.
Tried to use some of my telepathic ability to try to hint that this could happen. I tried to be like, he's going to be on the market. And I did say I would not give up a 1st-round pick, but to know you could have gotten him for a second.
Hey, man.
And I wonder with that draft pick that the Bears are getting back to say if it would have just been a 3rd straight up just for more, but then they get a pick of some sort back. But man, that would have been really nice to have considering the glut at the receiver position that the Bears had. Now that they're going to rely on Romo Dunze and Luther Burden on rookie contracts to get Caleb rolling again, and Josh Allen now gets a number 1 target, something that he really needed after this last year. So it's like, you got to be happy for your Bills, Arthur, where
I used to pray for times like this. Come on, man. We got him.
He's a really reliable player. And I know DJ Moore got a lot of flack for the playoff game where he quit on the route late in the game and Caleb threw an interception in the playoff game against the Rams. That's like what, 1 rep out of thousands. We're talking about a very reliable player, player who
Mark,
plays,
you got to remember also.
Healthy. Go ahead, Arthur.
We've experienced the Stephon Diggs experiment, baby. You feel me? So it was like we got our fair share of disgruntled. We know how it can get when it's like all these cameras, the game's happening like right now. You just go right here. You can do it right now. Like DJ, I ain't get too much of that from DJ. So shout out to DJ Moore, man. I like DJ though, man. Let's
go. It's a good move for Buffalo.
TaNeisha, what do you think? For Buffalo, man. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I thought it was a great move. I mean, we talked about this 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a great move. Now all eyes on what's his name, Brian Thomas.
Brian Thomas Jr.
for Jacksonville.
I'm on board. I've been doing my research.
Well.
That's why I want the Steelers to make a priority. Yeah, I want the Steelers to go get them.
Okay.
Full stop.
Now, when we look at the DJ Moore trade, right? Obviously, we know DJ a lot more, further along in his career, man, has obviously had multiple stops, but the consistency or the production has been a little bit more consistent there.
Yeah.
But we saw what it took, right? Essentially a 2nd-round draft pick.
Yep.
If you're looking at Brian Thomas Jr., really productive year, not so productive year, some injuries. What y'all think is the market for a guy like that right now?
3 or 4? 3 or 4?
Give him 2/3. I don't care. Go get him. Give him 2. My thing is this, and this is why I like the Rams. The Rams literally are like, F them picks. Go get players.
Yeah.
I think there's different levels of teams in the NFL, right? I mean, we can all agree. There's some levels of teams in the NFL where you're like, man, they need a lot. They'll figure it out. The Jets, the Cardinals, the Giants. Like, there's certain teams that are just like,
Browns.
Maybe they'll figure it out one day. They're just not there yet. Cool. Then there's other teams where you're like, no, you're close. Like, you are so close. I think the Steelers are there. But they have to do things. And whenever you're that close, go do things. Do something.
Also,
and that's where it's like the Rams, like, it makes so much sense. The Rams are like, we have a need. We're going to go fill our need. We're going to get talent. Here are the draft picks. And they,
you saw them go get Trent McDuffie.
And they do it in the offseason. They do it in the offseason too, where especially with the receiver and whoever Steelers quarterback is, you can get acclimated with the system and the playbook and your quarterback and all of that, versus to try to do that midseason on the fly with Adam Thielen and who was it?
Mike
Williams?
last year, Mike Williams.
MVS.
Mike Williams?
Mm-hmm. MVS is
Well,
another
the other
one.
thing
Yeah.
is too,
Yeah.
if you also are watching the Rams draft picks, because I'm obsessed with this crap, they have two first round draft picks.
Yeah.
Because they got the trade last year from the Falcons. So my point is, they still have, yes, people are like, they got rid of so much. They have the cream of the crop in draft picks that people want, first round draft picks. They have two of them still. And so my point is like, what, we've got to move. Like we've got to start thinking. Like if it takes two, go give them a second, go give them a third, like go do something. Because my thing is now, it's not good enough anymore to just kind of sit back and be like, well, Coach Tomlin's going to keep us steady. He's going to keep us in the fight. That's gone. Great. So everybody said it was him that was keeping us down or keeping us back or whatever. Cool. All of that is gone now. Who cares whose fault it was? So now this is new and fresh. So now what is new and what is fresh? What are we doing? What are we actually doing? What is the plan? Do something. It's unacceptable for them not to do anything. That's just where I'm at. So that's why I'm like, go get your guy, go offer whatever it is. You have 12 draft picks. We don't need 12. We don't need 12.
Quick question though, right? Going back to the draft and Brian Thomas. We talked about Brian Thomas, obviously multiple years in this thing, hot and cold in terms of production. Do we really want that versus some of what these draft picks could potentially be? Are there any other receivers that we're looking at in this class and we're like, I would much rather take 2 draft picks, move up into the first round or move up higher, you know what I mean, in the draft and get me one of these dudes versus going to get Brian Thomas? Is that in the conversation anywhere? Do we're kind of like locked in on Brian? He's like, yo, man, I like what I've seen from him thus far. I'll take that over whatever these other guys coming out are going to do.
Arthur,
all options are on the table.
I'm with TaNeisha there, but what I would say is if Brian Thomas can simply catch the ball, and that's the most important thing a receiver can do, I have no questions about his ability to do anything else on a football field. Straight up. Straight up, because I've seen it with my own 2 eyes in the flesh, in person. And I go back to when he was working out the combine in 2024 and when Xavier Worthy broke the 40 record, 5/100ths of a second slower than Xavier Worthy, and he weighs 50 pounds more. So you talk about someone who can move on the football field, someone who can take it the distance, someone who's a dynamic playmaker, so long as he catches the football. If he can figure that out, there is no limit for a player with the talent of Brian Thomas. It's just, can you put it all together? That's a big question. If Pittsburgh identifies that he has that talent, for Pittsburgh's track record of developing young receivers, I would trust that. And so I wouldn't overpay it, but you got 3 third-round draft picks if you're Pittsburgh as well. You give up one of them for a player of that talent and of that caliber, that's a swing I'm willing to take.
Yeah, and I was going to say, to even take it a step further, we know the history of the receivers, the development here in Pittsburgh, but this has also been with defensive-minded coaches, right? Now we're actually talking about an offensive-minded guy that actually has shown at multiple places, yeah, man, my receivers, my quarterbacks, my tight ends, heck, even my running backs, right? Remember, Tony Pollard got paid nice to go to Tennessee. Who was the head coach? All right, so it's like, yeah, man, you see certain things with McCarthy that to me would make me feel even more confident in Brian Thomas if that is truly the guy that we all feel good about. You know, I ain't tripping on Brian Thomas. He is my fantasy receiver his rookie year when he was actually like cooking. All right. So I was loving it. I'm like, yo, shout out to this kid right here. Okay. So yeah, I'm with Brian Thomas, man. If he can still do it, man, Mike McCarthy for sure will set you up, put you in position, man. So I don't look at that as a negative. And I also wonder this part, as much as we've been talking about free agency, right? And I know we've talked like the polar parts of it in terms of, man, no quarterback, no draw, or my stance, right? Overpay, man, and just be really calculated in who you overpay for. But for both of your perspectives, what type of draw is Mike McCarthy? We've talked about Coach Tomlin and that draw. I know I spoke personally about me signing here. It was like, yeah, man, Coach Tomlin, that was the biggest reason. How do we feel about Mike McCarthy, though, in his draw as an offensive guy, as a guy that has had a ton of success, Green Bay, Dallas, various systems, quarterbacks included? What's the thought process with that one?
If I was the Steelers, my pitch would be this. We have Mike McCarthy. Have you seen what he's been able to do with offenses? The way that he's been able to improve teams, make them better. That is his bread and butter. That is something new that we're implementing in Pittsburgh, and we're all in for that. We want talent. We want you. Like, because he has to be the pitch now. Like, let's be real. Like we don't know what this DC is going to do. I barely sometimes can remember his name. No disrespect to that man. I'm just saying it's new. But my thing is if Mike McCarthy's not our pitch, we're in trouble, because what else do we have that we're pitching at this point? We literally just got an F on everything, and our A's are gone. I mean, they saw that. Like,
TaNeisha, it was an F minus at one point on that grade. Like, how the heck you get an F minus?
So looking at that, and now looking at what we have, it has to be all in on Mike McCarthy. This offense, electric. We want to change things in Pittsburgh. Historically, we haven't done this. We're ready to do this. Think Ben back in 2014. Like, that has to be our pitch, because what else do we have to pitch at this point? Honestly,
90-5, but we got some bonus bathrooms for you. That's the pitch. That is the pitch. We got. What would say about these bonus bathrooms?
Give me some truth serum, and I would say I don't know what we're gonna do the postseason. We're gonna light up the damn scoreboard come regular season, and he's demonstrated the ability to do that. He has.
Yeah.
Postseason, we could argue that till sunup, but in terms of having a really competent offense everywhere he's gone, every step of the way, there's no debate about that. There's not.
Yeah. So that part I do feel good about, man. Yeah, I like that then. All right, look, we're gonna find us a receiver, okay? That's at the end of the day, it's gonna work out.
And now we have Kyler Murray, and he's gonna benefit us. But you know what I was thinking though?
Hey,
like, one of my drawbacks
under McCarthy. Just remember that, guys.
One of my drawbacks with Kyler, this is really ridiculous. He's we don't know what's gonna happen with Gainwell. Gainwell's coming back. He's just like Gainwell and Warren in a lot of ways. Like, they're all just like little bitty guys, just like chirping around the football field.
So you should say, yo, why got all these 5'9" and a half running around here?
Who's like
Kyler Murray?
His stature. Yeah.
Oh man.
When they stay in the shotgun next to each other, it's to be a straight line. You'd be like, oh.
Little guys just running around.
Hey, if we can play 7-on-7 or flag football, I'm cool with it.
We need all the offensive linemen. Y'all can't stand all the way tall. All right, if you're 6'2", Frazier, you too tall, bro. All right, McCormick, you way too tall. Yeah.
and below, it would just be like a bunch of little people running back there. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with Gainwell, but anyways, I just thought that was funny thinking about that. But Moats, you asked a question about do we want Brian Thomas, or would we want to get draft picks and use some of our draft picks on to move up? Both. Like,
I want multiple
why
receivers.
Do we have to do one or the other?
Yeah.
You know, like we need receivers. I think I wouldn't be upset if we got 2 receivers. I mean, I don't know if anybody else would, but like, yes.
Yeah.
No.
So and I'll just say the reason why I preface it as either or is just typically like history, right? If we're going to spend $30 million on a wide receiver, you're not about to go tap that in round 1 or round 2.
Is Brian Thomas making like $30 million?
3. You said
he's on his rookie deal.
He shouldn't. No, he's rookie deal still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But typically it's like, think, because DK Metcalf, for example, right? When we went and got this, like, that was such a massive move that none of us felt like receivers on the board until the whole GP thing situation. They was like, all right, receivers back important now. So that's the only reason why I preface it like that. Not saying that we can't look. The more the merrier. Trust me on that, right?
All talent.
But that's my whole thing. I just don't know if we spend. I don't even know who. Mike Evans, for example, right? He's probably a name that will generate some money out there in the open market, right? A guy like him, if we go and sign that, while you still have DK Metcalf here as well, like I just don't personally think that we'll go in the first round and go and get another one. I just think that's like a little bit heavy-handed.
A lot of capital. Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
I like how TaNeisha, like you had as soon as DJ Moore was crossed off the list, you just went to the next option. And it's a really good option in all honesty. And I don't mean this as a diss on Mike Evans. We're talking about, we talked a lot about how Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell are too similar. I would say the same thing with DK and Evans DK's fast, but Evans is on the back half of what is a Hall of Fame career. Do not misinterpret what I'm saying. Just the speed isn't there like you need, I think, of just someone who can just be a dynamic playmaker. And Evans, again, I think he's criminally underrated. I think, again, I'd argue, I'd make a strong argument that he should be a Hall of Fame receiver when it's all said and done. But just the fit, I don't think is there in Pittsburgh, considering what you have DK. opposite him if you were to pursue
Hey,
him.
look, you know I'm with you. I was just wanting to be messy. I was like, who do you think is actually the better player between the two, like production wise, career wise? Or it was like Mike be consistent with them backhand, with them back shoulders. He gonna find a way to catch them digs. Like
he's disrespected. Like I feel like I'm gonna say this, and everyone's gonna be like, he's not Larry Fitzgerald, but he's almost disrespected in the same way.
Yeah, that combo.
You know, like
I can see it.
Yeah, it's like everybody, like they're both great. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald, obviously, he is a Hall of Famer. He got his flowers. He's fantastic. But a lot of people, when you just list the best, there's some people they won't list. But I agree. Mike Evans is just consistent. He's just consistent. He's just going to show up. He's just going to do every single thing you want him to do. So, but no to the Steelers, respectfully.
Yeah. Because I was like, I mean, and I said him, I think he's one of the bigger names. Otherwise, you're talking Alec Pierce, right? How do we feel about Alec Pierce, for example, out of Indianapolis? Romeo Dobbs, right?
Yep.
Stephon Diggs, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, these are some of the other alternative names where it's like Jawan Jennings, right? How do you feel about Jawan? Want to call it the Niners? Hey,
Diggs with the legal problems, too. So, I mean,
it's a lot that comes. Yeah.
Where's Brandon Ayuk? Oh, not that again. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. I thought he was. Never mind.
Too soon, TaNeisha. Too soon.
So
I thought he was already on the Steelers. I already had my jersey on order.
That was
I thought
2
he was
years
already,
ago, man. 2 years ago we signed him. You ain't know this, man?
Signed, sealed, and delivered. It was a done deal.
It was just waiting on the ink to dry. Don't worry about it, guys. Yeah,
everything. Yeah, it was always a done deal. It never was.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So. Very interesting time. Very, very interesting time right there. But
I just don't want to be talking a week from now, and it's just like, yep, we're still waiting for the receiver. So then, to me, there's an even bigger. Then it's like rounds 1, 2, or 3. You better have at least one receiver in rounds 1, 2, or 3. Straight up.
No, you would have to have 2. If you don't get any now, I'm kind of leaning towards you got to have 2 in rounds 1 and round 2.
So that's the way that I look at it. I say if we're not trading for a guy, right, Brian Thomas Jr., if we're not signing a guy in free agency, you heard the name that I threw out in terms of Mike Evans. It's like, yes, rounds 1 through 3, we need to have 2 wide receivers coming up out of there. I don't care whether it's second and third. I prefer something in round 1 to make sure that I got the most absolute talented version of whatever I'm trying to get. But then, I would need to get a second one in them first 3 picks, man, to feel comfortable, to feel confident going into this thing. But I'm still back and forth because in the past, right, we've talked about how our roster in the terms of the funds, the allocation of them, right, we've been heavy-handed defensively, right? So part of me says, man, if we're trying to get away from the defense having all the money, I need my draft picks to probably be defensive dudes and then spend more on offensive guys. But when I'm looking at some of these options, it's like, I don't see a ton where that's worth paying like that. It's for the position that we need. Now we could look at maybe offensive line, but now it becomes do I want to pay a guy because I don't know if Broderick is going to be all the way back come September? Like that. Now I'm playing a weird game. I feel like man, I'm almost getting too much of an insurance policy on that next situation. But outside of tackle, I'm like, where else am I looking to spend offensively to kind of shift it, to where we're getting a little bit more resources on that side?
That's why you gotta go get. That's why you gotta go do the thing. Like you gotta go make the offer. Like it's like
the offer we're talking about. We're talking about the picks.
Yeah, you gotta do something. I know I keep saying it, but it's like at some point when you just look at all of this, all roads lead back to you're going to have to make some moves. You're going to have to do some maneuvering because you've let it get to this point. And it's let up and it's let up and it's let up. And it seems like now we're all broken records. The thing that is weird. Everybody in Steelers Nation is saying the same thing. We never all say the same things. We're
very
never
true
this way. But we're all like, quarterback is a problem. Got to figure that out. So if there's Aaron, somebody, something. And we all are yelling wide receiver too. That never happens. And I would be willing to say, I think 75% of people are also saying like corner, safety, whatever. That's strange for this fan base. That means we have a problem, and we've had a problem for a few years. Like, fix the problem. Stop the leaking. No leaking. No leaks. Fix
And
it.
we can't be agreeing this much either. Y'all know we still in the heart of a Steelers civil war, okay? This thing has bled in the organization, all right? So we don't have time for all this agreeing stuff. So we need to go ahead and get a wide receiver, and then we can get back to pointing the fingers and saying, hey, no, Mark, it's your fault, all right? Yeah.
Right.
Love it.
Like,
Love it.
just fix
Running
it.
running back as well, receiver and running back, because even cutting Jonnu Smith, and it just didn't work with. So this is another indication that Rodgers is coming back, because I understand Arthur Smith's
Now we're
not
looking for
there,
indicators.
but Jonnu Smith and Aaron Rodgers, and I say this with respect to both players. Rodgers, a 4-time MVP. Jonnu Smith's been a Pro Bowler before in this league too. They just didn't work. Like it was like oil and water. They didn't have the connection. If you want to know one rep of what I'm talking about, find the rep where Rodgers is about to call play. Jonnu Smith is in motion. He just looks over to Jonnu and says, "What the F are you doing?" It just didn't work. It just did not work. That is okay. Maybe that's another indication that Rodgers is coming back to Pittsburgh. But you still have depth at tight end, because you still have Freiermuth under contract. You still have Mount Washington under contract. So what does that leave you? That leaves you with receiver and running back. That we need dynamic playmakers. Like, this is not that hard. It's
not. Like, it can't be this hard. Like, I don't know. I don't know anything about anything, but I feel like this is kind of, it's like, it's getting to the point where you're like, what are we missing? Why is this just not happening at this point? Because, like, I honestly want to know, like, why is this just not happening? I don't know.
It would just be a struggle. This offense is just a struggle. Like, I hate doing this of just like, we'll just Madden real life. But it's like, other than DK, if we're playing Madden, who that playmaker is that's just dynamic.
Yep.
That's just dynamic. That it's like, I can take it to the house on this play or any given play where he's got the ball in his hands. It's DK, and who else with this offense?
Moose is the first thing I could think of, and once again, that's a stretch. Like, and I love Moose, but the reason I say that is because if I've seen you score 60+ yard anything, I look at you as like, yeah. So I go back to that Cincinnati Bengals game where obviously he catches it, cuts across the field. It's like, once I see you do that, all right. Jaylen Warren, I've seen you go 60. It's like, bro, it's not a lot of people walking this earth that have went 60 at this level, because there's just too much speed out there. So that's the only reason. And like I said, that's a stretch, right? Because none of us feel like that's just something that we're constantly getting. But it's like, it's in there somewhere. I've seen you put it on tape.
They just refused to pass him the ball this last year too. So I mean, that's not. I'm going to look up what Muth's targets were this year compared to previous years.
Oof.
But yeah, I'm with you in terms of he has demonstrated that he can be a playmaker. But if you don't utilize that and you say, oh, well, we don't even care, even relative to what we're paying him. It's he had 54 targets.
Not enough.
Which was a career low other than 2023, but he missed
Not
5
enough.
games.
Yep.
He had 47 in that season. In the other seasons where he played in all of the games for the most
He should be in
part.
the 70s, man.
Yeah. 54 targets this last year.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
And I remember
with a contract extension. That's
4 or 5 games we were like, where is he?
Yeah.
Like, is he even out there? Oh, he is out there. Okay, well then why aren't we throwing him the ball? And it's interesting because it's like, our offense, we just need help. We need help. Like SOS signs. Like we need help. Here comes the fire signals. Like, here it is. Here's the smoke. Like, so when I'm approaching free agency, I expect to be getting something saying what the Steelers are doing in offense. I mean, that is just what I expect to see. I don't know. I mean, if I don't see that, if we're having a conversation about this in a week or whenever it is, and we come back and we're like, we don't have anything. Now I'm going to be like, in the draft, it's just like, it's not going to stop. It's like, it's football. You need receiver.
Is there?
You know what I keep hearing, guys? I just keep hearing, this is why TJ Watt's numbers were down, guys, because he had a very bad offense that he had to deal with all season. So that's all I keep hearing as we just keep going further and further into this thing. Is just TJ Watt, man. All right, man.
Is there
Just
a
give him a
world
little help.
though? Is there a world where Aaron Rodgers says, hey, Pittsburgh, you haven't done enough this offseason. I've had heck of a career. Thanks so much for 2025. I'm either going to ride off into the sunset or decide I'm going to sign with another team.
Can any of us with 100% certainty say anything with Rodgers? I don't trust it at all. That's why you keep hearing me bring up other options that are more legitimate, because I would much rather have the tangible, which I know for certain is this, versus the, hey, it could be. But like you said, what about that 10%? And to have to deal with that, I personally don't want to do that. I personally wouldn't be okay with that. And I don't think a lot of Steelers Nation would be okay with it either. So, yeah, man. But at the same time, I do respect what Rodgers has done. And I think that's why a year ago, my tone was very different. Because a year ago, it wasn't, man, you'll be a year older. You're going to also have the, coming off with the broke wrist. You're also going to have a year where you were productive, but at the same time, we could still see where, yeah, man, you're not the Rodgers of old, right? You're just, yeah.
You had the ace up your sleeve, and what was the ace up your sleeve with Tomlin?
Yeah.
The relationship and the respect that Rodgers and Tomlin had for one another, and Rodgers didn't do a ton of McAfee a year ago, and Rodgers behaved in 2025 straight up.
He was on his best behavior.
It was amazing.
Oh,
and
man.
he even defended Tomlin at every turn.
Seen it.
Every time he had a chance to throw him under the bus, he was like, y'all are nuts. Y'all are crazy. So, no, he's not going to defend McCarthy like that. No. That's what. No.
You don't think they'd have a nice relationship like that? What
Absolutely not. No, he's not going to do that. No. And yeah, if Rodgers is telling the organization tonight, I'm coming back, and he signs the offer and just says, hey, just don't release it, I'm coming back. Whatever game he wants to play for, fine, whatever, I don't care. If you have that guarantee from him, cool. But if you don't, you go play the field. You go get on the phone. And to be honest, what is this? Whatever day this is, they should have already been on the phone. So that's when I'm like, we can't keep waiting. Again, like I always say, don't tell me you want to win. Don't tell me you're going to do what it takes. Don't tell me you don't want to take a step back. Don't tell me we're an organization that prides yourself on winning. Don't tell me all of that. And then you're not doing what winners do. Winners don't stop. You keep going, because even when you're winning, you're still going. That's part of winning. So like, that's all I'm saying. Like, it's unacceptable for them to just not do anything and to just sit back and wait for Rodgers. I don't like the move.
That's the pushback though, TaNeisha. That is definitely the pushback. You could make a move, but does that move get you closer to a Super Bowl versus waiting for Rodgers? Because a year ago, or even before we knew about Kyler and Geno, when it was Will Howard and Mason Rudolph, and we're like, yo, would y'all be cool with that? And I'm like, nah, I'd wait on Rodgers if that was my options, right? I don't know if everybody's gonna feel, as much urgency to move past a Rodgers based on the options that we currently have. Like, you heard Mark he won't fill in the collar. He ain't filling the collar. I'm not pushing Geno like that. So now we look at them other options, and it's the Kirk Cousins, the Malik Willis of the world. You know what I mean?
Okay, but we have to. There's a part of Mark. I love you. This is no disrespect.
No.
There's a part of sports where it's like, facts don't care about your feelings. The fact is, if you go get Kyler Murray at 1.5, I don't care who doesn't like it. That is immediately saving you money. That's immediately saving you money.
It's great value.
So that's right. So that's the first part of this. So you're naturally winning. You're paying him less money than you would be paying Aaron Rodgers. If you can't get around that in your football brain, that means you're allowing your feelings to impact how you're thinking and feeling. There's nothing I can do about that. The second thing is, it gives us a little bit of stability immediately. So we already know where we're moving. We already know what's going on. Do people really like not knowing what's going on at the quarterback position for our NFL team? Like, can people honestly say, the people that are watching this, can you honestly say, whenever you think about the Steelers, you get comfortable whenever you're wondering what Aaron Rodgers is going to do? That makes you feel good. That makes you feel comfortable. I think that's a lie. I don't think so I think the sell is to the fans is, first of all, put your football brain on. And what makes you feel better? Knowing who your quarterback is going to be and that your quarterback is going to show up to, what is it? The little mini camps, all the things, because Aaron Rodgers ain't showing up to that either.
First off, why they gotta be little? It ain't no little mini camp. Hey, look, man, it's just mini camp. They'll be hitting this little mini camp.
So, like, if that's what we need to do, like, we have to get over those feelings, and we have to start looking at the facts of this. Like, this is a business, and we have a quarterback that wants to be here, that is he would choose us. So he's now choosing us. Aaron Rodgers doesn't even want to choose us right now. Like, stop being a pick me. Like, we need somebody that wants us, and we're going to move forward with them. Now I'm on a rant. I'm just saying, like, we have to, like, this is football. This is football. This is about the tangible things that we can touch, feel, and see. And we can't see Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't even, he won't even show up, guys, in May. Okay. It's okay it's okay if we move on from him. It is okay. Breakups are never fun, but it's okay. It's okay.
For that value, I'm with you there, TaNeisha. But what I would say as well is if you were serious to entertain about Kyler, to be able to get to where he wants to go in his career, he's going to need to be on best behavior as well. A lot like what you saw in 2025 of how Rodgers performed and behaved and just how he comported himself as a member of the Steelers. So if that's the route that you wanted to go for $1.5 million, you're not going to get better value than that at quarterback. So that I understand. I mean, Mark, if I were advising Kyler, though, I'd say Minnesota.
I would say you're working for the wrong people, Mark. No, you're not supposed to say that.
My only pushback about the no to Minnesota is KOC drafted JJ McCarthy.
That's 9.
So
yeah.
So my counter to that would be like, are you going to be able to go in there and beat out a guy that he drafted that he actually wants to be the franchise?
Not even that. He'll play this year, but where's the longevity with it is what I see. Because I think he can go in and have a heck of a season, but because next year 9 is back.
We think of KOC a lot like we think of Kyle Shanahan with the 49ers. The 49ers quickly folded their hands with Trey Lance, and then it was Brock Purdy who came in to save the day. What's to say that they couldn't do that all over again? But yeah, I mean, I get your point. As a first round pick, you're given so many opportunities more to make sure that it gets right. But if you're Minnesota, it's like they can't afford to dilly dally around in Minnesota because Green Bay is going to get better and better. They're a very young team. The Bears and the Lions are all 3 formidable teams.
And do we hold the fact that they did actually have Sam Darnold? He did win 14 games and they did allow him to leave. And then they decided to roll McCarthy, and McCarthy hasn't looked up to snuff. And now if you swing on another quarterback, does any of that reflect negatively on them? Do we, question some of that? Because it's like, man, to have it and then for you to have lost it, that's a lot. And it goes and win the Super Bowl literally the next year as well. He's just like, sheesh. But Kyler Murray right now, if I'm Minnesota, that's priority number 1.
For sure.
But when you take a quarterback in the first round, it's like, that's tough, man. That is tough. But all right, as we sit here, I'm like, okay. We're going on the back end of this thing. So, Mark, I'm going to come to you right now, all right? Because I know you usually be half-baking over there, all right? So, do we got any half-baked that we baked and we have that we ready? You got what you cooking up over there, man? Anything for us tonight, man?
I got something. And we were talking about Kyler Murray. He's played in the state of Arizona. Today is a thing called daylight saving time, where everyone in America moves up an hour. We need to do away with this practice. I'm done moving up an hour, falling back an hour in the fall. Let's just keep time as it is. Maybe there's an agricultural component, but let's stick with the state of Arizona, who is like the lone state that doesn't do this. Then you have to figure out, are they in Mountain Time or Pacific Time? I can never figure it out because they don't change. We all change. I'm so sick of this. My half-baked idea, let's do away with daylight saving. Let's just stay on standard time, and that can be the end of it. That is my half-baked idea. The only silver lining I can really see, we are an hour closer to NFL free agency.
Ooh, I see what you did there.
Which time frame do you like? Do you like the time we're in now, or do you like the time we just came from?
Ooh.
Just give me the sun, as long as the sun doesn't go down by like 5 o'clock. Like, give me a decent sunset at a decent hour.
Better.
I think so. Yeah. So give me a sunset at 7, 8 o'clock at night versus it's like most people are leaving work at 4 or 5 o'clock and it's already pitch black out. I can't keep doing this. And it's just like, I woke up this morning and I'm like, why am I groggy? It's like, how am I already awake? And it's like, my day's already gone. It's like, hey, idiot, it's daylight saving today. Your clock moved up.
Yeah.
We need to do away with it. I'm sick of it
That
because
just
then we're
means
gonna fall back.
you need to live in the South. You need to live in Central because we got good time frames.
All right, I'll power rank the time zones really quickly. 1A, 1B, Central Time, Mountain Time. I put Pacific Time at number 3. Eastern Time. I've lived in Eastern Time my entire adulthood. It is the worst. When primetime games are done, 11, midnight, 1 in the morning, you've got to work the next day. It's terrible. It is awful. It is the worst. And this is why we need to do away with daylight saving time. Look out for people out on Eastern Time.
Because I can see how passionate you are about this, Mark. I agree with you. I've lived in
Central Time. It's the best time zone. You get the best of both worlds.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Pacific Time, everything's done way too soon, and you're like, it's 10 p.m. at night. What do you mean there's nothing else on? It's like, yeah, all those Pac-12 games that you used to watch late at night in other time zones, it's all done for the night. You got to wait till the next day, and it's like 8 a.m., 10 a.m., and things are already on when you're asleep. So that's why that gets third. Central Time, Mountain Time is where it's at, man. Straight up.
I would say, man, shout out to both of y'all. I could tell both of y'all have been like mature, adults. Y'all understand responsibilities. Y'all probably go to sleep at a very adequate, sufficient time. Make sure you get your 8 hours of sleep and all the good stuff you're supposed to do. I get it, man. So yes, if I practice that, I would also have a very similar, stance. But for some of us, we like the late night. For some of us, we like to work night shift. You feel me? So like, I actually enjoy when I watch my UFC fight, like I was just doing a day ago, and it's like, oh, it's midnight, baby. Hey, we still got another fight, don't you? Hey, listen, man. If this card in before 1 o'clock, I'm low key pissed because what am I gonna do till 3 in the a.m., baby? I like that 1 a.m. when it's done, and then it's like, all right, is it the let out? Or are we just gonna stay up and watch TV? Like I just like all of that because before I was married and doing the whole family thing, I enjoyed being out. And it's fun when it's safe, right? When you're in the right place, okay? But it's fun. I like fun. I like that. And I know it's not always, they told me before, hey man, ain't nothing open after midnight except, 7-Eleven or something else. And I get it, okay? But there are scenarios where there are things that are open, okay? I remember standing in and watching a Conor McGregor fight and this happened at 1 in the morning, all right? Because I watched him knock out Eddie Alvarez at UFC and it was electric. And that fight ended at 1 in the morning. You know how cool it was when I got to watch Colorado play Colorado State. They went to like 50 overtimes and the game was like 3 in the morning. You know how cool it was to actually say, yo, I stayed till 3 in the morning to watch Colorado. Not, man, I stayed till like 12. Man, I'm so tired. It's midnight. Man, get out of here, man. It don't hit the same. You can't get, when I hear Midwest, any of that complain about, man, I'm tired. It's early morning. We had to stay up. I'm like, you stayed up till 10 o'clock? You stayed up till your game ended at 9:30. But we didn't kick it off till 8:30. You feel me? I don't want to see the main card start till 10. If fight one of the main cards starts before 10 o'clock, it's not a good card. It's a waste. Boxing, UFC, like what? Yeah. So I'm gonna keep it just like that. And I love waking up first thing in the morning that next day, like, God dang, this hurts. Oh, but it was worth it though. But I'm so tired. Oh my, is it 6? Oh my Lord, that sun is bright. Oh Lord, but it was worth it. So I think I'm in the outlier there. But I love it though, man. I'm a late night guy, man. Even tonight, like we're gonna get done with this and we're gonna be like, all right, everybody's gonna be sleeping 1 in the morning. Like, man, is there a game on? Can I get some Mountain West basketball? Can I get a Cal Poly versus Cal State Fullerton or anything? Like, I know y'all got some of that going on here, right? At 1 in the morning. Yeah.
Hawaii
is clutch.
Yeah.
Hawaii always got me.
Yeah. Hawaii always shows up for you.
Arthur, I'll take a nap before I meet you out at the club. How's that sound?
I think that's a good question. Are you a napper before you go to the club, or
how late are we staying out? Depends on how late we're staying out.
Man, like I said, man, y'all just sound like real mature adults, and I love that. All right, I love it. I'm working on growing up one day, man. Because I've always been told, like, when you stay up late and you're not practicing good sleep habits and you actually are okay with being tired the next day at work, it's not, it's frowned upon in certain places. Whereas with my people's moves coming up, it's like, yo, if you young and you can get it, man, you get it how you live. If you could do it on both ends, do it on both ends. If you can't, do what works best for you. Put yourself in
That's
a
fair.
position to be successful. But that
I'm
was how
also
we
in
rocked
Central,
out.
so everything usually ends and starts like it's supposed to. Again, in my world, right? Like it's always been like this. But when I do travel and I go to other places, it is weird for me because I'm like, oh, this is starting really late, or woo, this is really early. Now do I eat dinner? This is weird.
Hey, look, so no, I got questions. Like, I know we're talking sports, right? That's been the main focus, but like just in general, like going out in Texas or in Cali, right? Y'all ain't going out at 6, 8 o'clock. Y'all still would go out super late, right? So what's the difference?
Depends on where you're at. Depends on where you're at.
It depends on. Yeah, but I think though it's like what your mindset is, because like for me, I'll just use football. It's easier for me. It's like I know once football is over, I also go to bed usually pretty late because my brain works better at night.
Same.
So once the game is over, I have hours to like create content, do other things. I have time to do those things. But I think if I was on the East Coast when it went off, I don't know how much extra time I would have. So to me, it ends at perfect time because I have extra time. Now, if I was on the West Coast, I would be like, am I supposed to eat now? Is this eat time or is this brain time? Because it's like 2 hours difference. So I think that's where I'm saying like it's different. Now I've never really been a like go out type of person. Yeah. And when I do got to take a nap because I'm like, where are we going and when are we getting home? Because I'm tired. But if I'm home, I can do all kinds of things. I'm like, I can create a video. I can anything. Yeah. So this way for me, it's like games here Central end around like 10:30, 11 at the latest. That's prime time. I can still work out. I can game ends. I could go work out, shower, do other stuff. It's so much time. Now, if that ended at 12, I don't know if I would have so much time like I have. So that would be one thing that would be weird for me.
Because you're trying to get how much sleep? You're trying to get your 6 hours. Like I said, responsible, mature.
Well, really I don't know. Yeah.
I'm cool with.
I get them.
We know over here it's like, yo, you're gonna be best case if you could get it by 3, great, right? That's the East Coast. If you get it by 3, great. But that's a part of them on the East Coast. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm.
Welcome to my world,
like,
TaNeisha. Welcome to my world.
Skin would not be clear with 3 hours.
But it's so mature. You got a mature state. I like your sleep schedule. All right.
Yeah. I need my skin to be clear.
Okay, it is real. She said, yo, you gonna run out of time? No, you ain't. The sun will just come up. That's all that's gonna happen. All right? You don't run out of time.
That's
got more light now. Just reset the day.
Yeah. No, and nobody wants to deal with me if I've only had 3 hours. Literally nobody wants to deal with me if I've ever only had 3 hours of sleep. No. Absolutely not.
But yo, that's the East Coast life right there, though, man.
If
for
the
sure, that's the
siesta
East Coast
were a
life.
more embraced thing in American culture, maybe I could argue for East Coast time. But it's not. That is very European facet of life. But man, East Coast time is
that? How did we get the short end of the stick with that one? That is for sure a concept that I could get behind.
How much time do you have, Arthur?
Like what? And look, we're on the East Coast, just 10 o'clock. Come on, man. I got plenty of time, man. I got at least 5 more hours of uptime right now, okay? At least 5 more.
I couldn't imagine. And every time I go visit there, I'm like, yeah, it is kind of where the game is over and the sun's still out. This is weird. Like, where are we going? I don't know. Yeah.
I like it. Well, shoot, man. This has been a blast. I like how we do this right here. This is how we supposed to do it, Mark. All right, so shout out to you and your half baked, even though you was taking shots at my East Coast late night. So all right, I still appreciate you. Okay,
his lifestyle.
Yeah, man. I felt a little attacked. I'm like, dang, man. And it's East Coast. What do you mean? It's not mature to go. So I'm like, yo, it is. All right.
Yeah, you can function. Yeah. I think the question too. I'm curious to know how many hours of sleep people need to function, because I think it varies. I think that's a
the
good
big thing that a lot of people are chasing, right? Sleep.
Yeah, how many hours do you need?
You get enough hours.
Yeah. Well, are you like
Arthur's like,
are you like lethargic if you get
honestly, that is always
hours?
what Mark just said. I sleep when I'm dead. Honestly, for me, this goes back to even playing wise, man. We've had so many sleep specialists come in and we laugh at them in their face because they're going to tell us about how you have to have the optimal 6 to 8, 8 to 10, 10 to 12. Yeah. And we're like, yeah, but when you're telling us my meeting gets out at this time and I got to get up at this time, I'm only going to get 5.5. And that's if I go to sleep exactly when this meeting ends.
Right.
So what you're telling me is I've been operating on 3.5 hours of sleep throughout my whole career and everything was just fine. All right, I got you, man. We're good. So that's the answer. But I don't get groggy one way or the other. Like,
Okay.
It could be sleep
too
all day if
much
you wanted
sleep.
to, right? Yeah, I don't really suffer from that, but yeah, I'm just what Mark said, man. I can sleep when I'm dead, bro. We're gonna be all right. We'll figure it out, man. Let's roll.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Well, I need sleep.
Get your sleep though.
Good
All right, hey. So that's why we're gonna wrap this up, so that way everybody get their rest tonight. All right. So final words. Who has the final words tonight? All right. Let's make sure we gotta get our rest in, man.
Yeah. My final words are going to be, if we're sitting back up here again at this, having this conversation, and the Steelers don't have a receiver from free agency, I'm going to have some concerns. So yeah, that's my final word. So I am looking for the Steelers to do something in free agency. That is my theme of the night. Do something.
John, cue that thing. Come on, man.
Yeah, and if they don't, I'm heading up to Pittsburgh. Like, this is like, come on. Like, so that's where I'm at. I just want them to make a move, and I want to see a little bit of life in what is happening with this offense this offseason.
Let's go.
Start of NFL free agency this week. We know we need a receiver. Running back would be really nice. Figure out what we're doing there. A few other moves to upgrade the team. But I will say this too. I'm not one to wish my life away. However, very excited to chop it up with both of you the next time we get to talk. We'll have some more answers. And to quote the great John Q as well, it's not goodbye. It's see you later, son.
What is wrong with you?
I love it. I love it.
Who have you become? Like, what is wrong with you? Who are you? Who are you?
Shut up.
He has costumes now. Like, he got an Emmy, and now all of a sudden he's like, I got this Emmy. Okay, I'm gonna just be who I'm going to be.
I love it, man. Absolute rock star right here, man. That's how it's supposed to be. That is how it's supposed to be. For me, man, I'm just going to enjoy this free agency, man, because, as I'm going on another year being retired, this is another year I actually can sit back and really enjoy free agency, all right? Because when you play it and you're active, you don't enjoy this time of year at all. In fact, you hate free agency and you hate the draft, all right? Those are the 2 days that make all your anxiety just like, So I'm going to kick back, and I can't wait to just see who we bring in, all right? It's going to be fun. But with that being the case, hopefully y'all enjoyed it as well. And if you did enjoy tonight's stream, you know the drill. Like button, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little notification bell as well. Y'all stay safe out there. And until next time, baby, peace.
Bye.